There's a lot of myths in this business. Josh, what's a common myth about coaching and leading salespeople or sales leaders that you believe is misguided or perhaps even misunderstood?
Yeah, I think there's a few things we could get into with that. The first thing that always comes to my mind when you're talking about coaching and leading is the belief that we actually, before we got on here, we talked a little bit about the fact that there can be outside influence on someone in terms of how ready they are to be coached at any given moment or any given day. And so I think one of the myths that exists is that everyone is going to be able to put their best foot forward into and the ability to receive the coaching on any given day. And I think as a manager, you want to believe, because typically if you've risen the ranks, if you've gone from individual contributor to manager to director of sales to VP of sales, you've seen some things before, and your belief is that you can take those things that you've seen and directly apply them to every individual with the belief that they're going to get better. I think one of the hard lessons learned when you step in the seat for the first time is that the things that might have made you successful aren't necessarily going to make that individual person you're trying to coach successful. So the biggest myth I remember having to bust my first time as a manager at Log Me In was this concept that I could take what worked for me and what made
Mm.
me the top performer in that business. I was 2 years in a row as the number one salesperson at Log Me In, that I could take those things that made me have success and then just directly layer it over the team that I was responsible for, and they'd see the same type of results. It just doesn't work that way. Like individual humans are wired and built and operate differently. So the myth that you can take what works well for you when you were in the seat and
Mhm.
layer it over to those individuals is one that has been busted many times over.